Congratulations to the 2010 TYFA BBB champions, the Antioch Falcons. Let's take a look back at the memorable season that was. Game 1 pitted the Falcons against the Smyrna Bulldogs for a non-conference matchup. Hey, it was a defensive battle of the trenches. The game featured this big defensive stop by J.J. Mercer. Hey, and check out this relentless defensive pressure causing this pass incomplete. Time and time again, the Bulldogs found themselves denied by the Dirty Bird defense. The Falcons swooped in and shut down multiple attempts at Bulldog gains. Check out B.J. Shelton and a host of Falcons refusing to give up ground on a Bulldog fourth down. And hey, and B.J. wasn't finished yet. Check out this big 31-yard run. But unfortunately, the effort wasn't quite enough. The Bulldogs managed to put one touchdown on the boards, and Antioch dropped game number 1, 7-0. Week 2 found the Falcons at home against the Hendersonville Titans, and this time around, the Falcons were playing for keeps. Check out this punt return for 45 yards by Zach Vaughn, taking it all the way into the end zone. That put the Falcons ahead by 7, and that little taste of victory was all it took to charge up the Antioch offense. Check out this 30-yard pass from Damian Baugh to Trey Dickerson, putting touchdown number 2 on the boards for your mighty Falcons. The Falcon defense kept a close eye on the Titan offense, especially David Smith, who got to the right place at the right time to recover this fumble. But hey, David wasn't finished yet. Check out this spectacular fumble recovery, plus 25 yards for yet another Falcons touchdown. The final score of the game for the Falcons came with an over-the-middle pass from Damian Baugh to Trey Dickerson. Your final score, Falcons 28, Titans 6, and Antioch improved its record to 1-1. In Week 3, your Antioch Falcons hosted the Donaldson Hermitage Warriors at home in a game best called the Indian Retreat. Zach Vaughn drew first blood with the 40-yard touchdown. And Archie Davis did a little scalping of his own with this 3-yard touchdown scamper. Zach Vaughn stunned the Warriors again with this 37-yard touchdown run, upping the stakes for the outmatched Warriors as they failed to mount much of an offensive against the home team. Jabari Gage decided to get a piece of the action with this 10-yard pass reception, and the Falcons put even more points on the board. In case you're wondering what the Falcon defense was doing, check out this big fourth down stop by William Thompson and Chandler Shaw. And Rico Starks got in on the action too with a little stopping action of his own. Week 3 saw Antioch improve its record to 2-1 while sending the Warriors home licking their wounds. Final score 26-6. Week 4's game against Waverly Belmont will be remembered in Falcons lore as the perfect game. This double reverse resulting in a Jabari Gage touchdown run from midfield was only a shadow of the things to come in what would be an all-out blowout. Zach Vaughn decided to show the Bulldogs who the big dog was right on their own home turf with this 40-yard sprint into the end zone, chalking up touchdown number 2 in a game that would include many for the Falcons. And as if 40 yards wasn't enough, Zach decided to go for gold on a 71-yard spectacular run. David Smith executed perfectly on a double reverse, and 43 yards later ended up in the end zone for another Antioch touchdown. Check out this Zach Vaughn punt return. He goes all the way, and things are only going from bad to worse for the Waverly Belmont Bulldogs. Archie Davis makes a 2-yard burst up the middle, resulting in yet another Falcons touchdown. And lest we forget our Falcons defense, check out this action resulting in a loss of yardage for the Bulldogs. But more than yardage was lost in the 56-0 defeat for Waverly Belmont. The Falcons were flying high with a 3-1 record and ready to bring their A-game home in week number 5. Week 5 featured an epic battle of the birds as our Antioch Falcons took on the Grassland Golden Eagles. This game featured plenty of solid action like this tight reverse leading to a critical gain by Zach Vaughn. That was enough to set up for this 3-yard scamper into the end zone by Archie Davis. Now in the third quarter, Zach Vaughn makes a spectacular run, outmaneuvering the Golden Eagles for a gain of 40 yards and a trip across the goal line. Check out this defensive stop by Archie Davis and Chandler Shaw. And how about Damian Baugh with this 4th down hit? We wrap up our highlights of Week 5 with this 10-yard touchdown run by B.J. Shelton. In the Battle of the Birds, the Golden Eagles' wings were clipped as the Falcons triumphed 27-6, improving their season record to 4-1. Week number 6 will be a disappointing loss for Antioch at Goodlettsville, but no one was disappointed with the in-game action. Damian Baugh strips the ball for this spectacular 75-yard sprint all the way into the end zone. Unfortunately, not everything went Antioch's way in that game. Damian Baugh did score on this keeper play, but the Trojans answered each Falcon score with a score of their own. This 10-yard touchdown pass to Zach Vaughn did result in points, but unfortunately not enough, as your Antioch Falcons fell to the Goodlettsville Trojans 25-21, dropping their season record to 4-2. Week 7 found the Falcons paired against the Old Hickory Bulldogs in a toe-to-toe battle. Old Hickory struck first with this short run. Score now 7-0 Bulldogs. The Falcons opened things up with this 40-yard pass on a 4th down to Trey Dickerson, keeping the Falcon drive alive. In the second quarter, the Falcons take the lead with Damian Baugh touchdown and a 2-point conversion on a pass to Jabari Gage. Old Hickory answered just before halftime with a touchdown run of their own with this play that looked dead, but actually came back to life again with the 62-yard scamper into the end zone. Score at halftime, Bulldogs 14, Falcons 8. Old Hickory scores again in the third quarter on a quarterback sneak play. Score now 20-8 in the Bulldogs' favor. As the Falcons go to the spread offense, Zach Vaughn hits Trey Dickerson with this 40-yard bomb, and he is all the way past the goal line, putting the mighty Falcons within 6 of the Bulldogs. Score 20-14. Old Hickory answers again with a 30-yard sprint into the end zone. Bulldogs 27, Falcons 14. With 9:01 left in the fourth quarter, Antioch strikes back with the 60-yard pass from Zach Vaughn to Damian Baugh. Falcons close in, a 27-20 score. Check out this big fumble recovery by Zach Vaughn and William Thompson with 8:37 left in the fourth. The Falcon offense kept the pressure up on the Bulldogs with this 30-yarder from Zach to David Smith. With 6:23 left in the game, Zach Vaughn scampers for 36 yards, making this game a nail-biter at a score of 27-26. Finally, with a big stop on the defense, the Falcons got the ball back but couldn't get it in for a score. Final score in the all-out gridiron battle, Old Hickory Bulldogs 27, your Antioch Falcons 26. The Falcons dropped to 4-3. Week number 9 was leading up to spring break, and David Smith caught a break of his own with his 20-yard touchdown pass from Zach Vaughn. And Zach Vaughn kept his feet steady beneath him all the way into the end zone on this keeper play. Spring Hill bested Antioch 38-12 in Week 9, dropping the Falcons' record to 4-4. The good news, however, was that your Antioch Falcons excelled enough to make the playoffs, and the rest, as they say, is history. Playoff round number 1 saw the Falcons once again taking on the Donaldson Hermitage Warriors at home. Spectators were in for a treat with exciting action like this 50-yard run by Zach Vaughn.
It's the heart of the battle, the American dream. Now it's 20 yards to go, you can feel the tension, concentrating on the game.
2 plays later, it was time to cash in on all that yardage with this short pass to Damian Baugh, who scampered toward the end zone. And this 2-yard sneak put the Falcons on the board. Damian Baugh kept on impressing spectators with this textbook play, resulting in a gain of 12 yards. And on defense, check out this safety. Great work by Desmond Goodlow and DeAndre Archie. At the end of the day, the Dirty Birds scalped the Warriors 28-7, soaring high into playoff round number 2. In second-round playoff action, the defense set the tone with this hard-nosed hit by J.J. Mercer. The Falcons' offense decided to get in on the action. Zach Vaughn displayed his quick speed along with a little duck-and-dodge finesse, working his way into the end zone to put the first points on the board for Antioch. The pressure was on the Trojan offense to put up a few points of their own, and they proved themselves up to the challenge, taking the lead 7-6. The Falcons offense made it clear who would dominate in this contest, executing a spectacular drive to the goal line, starting with this 20-yard pass play by Jabari Gage. Damian Baugh kept the drive alive with this 15-yard gain. Then on the quarterback keeper, Zach Vaughn made a spectacular dash to the outside, outflanking several Trojan defenders and advancing the Falcons ever closer to the goal line. Finally, the drive was capped with this amazing diving catch in the end zone by Jabari Gage. On the defense, David Smith dealt this crushing blow, sealing the deal for the Falcons. As playoff round number 2 wound down to a close, the hard-fought match ended on a quiet play, followed by a loud celebration as the Falcons and all their loyal fans realized that this team was Brentwood bound. Yes, your Antioch Falcons were headed to the TYFA BBB championship game against the Old Hickory Bulldogs in what would be a spectacle to remember. In a championship blowout game against Old Hickory, best titled Unbelievable, Damian Baugh came out strong in this 5-yard jog past the goal line on the keeper to clinch the first points of the game. B.J. Shelton, lined up and raring to go, took a short run of his own to put his mark on the scoreboard. Feeling a bit on the restless side, Zach Vaughn decided to put some mileage behind himself on this spectacular 52-yard run into the end zone for Falcon touchdown number 3. Once he scored, Zach never looked back. Here he works his way past the goal line for a Falcon touchdown number 4. Spectators who came to see a close contest simply showed up at the wrong game as Jabari Gage takes it all the way in for this final TD in an all-out championship blowout. What a sweet victory for the Falcons to completely best the Old Hickory Bulldogs after a close match and disappointing loss to Old Hickory in Week 7 of the season. Hats off to the champs, your Antioch Falcons. Time to do a little Dirty Bird victory dance.